So here we are with the start of the next project. This is the old Triumph Grand Prix square barreled 500 bike from 1947 that I bought ages and ages ago. We've had the frame checked for cracks and re-welded up, and got the new brackets put in place, so everybody's happy with that. So I've just got to start with this and try and get it all built up, get the engine rebuilt first of all, get everything put together, then I'll strip it apart again, send the frame away for powder coating, and get everything looking nice and tasty, and then we'll take it from there. Welcome back to the Triumph 500 project we've got here. We've got the timing side cover off. I think I'm going to split the engine. It actually feels really good, but given that it's been sitting around for a long time, I think it's better to split the cases and have a look inside and see what we need to do. It's got a fancy advanced retard mechanism here. Obviously we've got the standard oil pump. I may upgrade the oil pump, it depends on how I feel. And then we'll have a look at all the bearings and just check everything's alright, and check the big ends. The big ends feel okay. I've had a bit of a movement on the con rods. Obviously the con rods and these things can move from side to side, but they shouldn't be able to move up and down a huge amount, which this doesn't. But we'll get together and start to pull this thing apart. A couple of things to mention. The two cams here are left-hand threads, and you need a special puller to take the cam wheels off. You screw it onto a thread just on here and push it, you pull it off that way. It's not necessary to take the cam wheels off. You can actually split the cases with the cams still attached to the wheels. We'll see how it looks, we'll see how it feels. We'll leave them on for the moment. They can always take it off later with the special tool, and we'll start pulling it apart. One thing I find is particularly useful when you're pulling these engines apart is an old 2p piece. For those of you that don't know what that looks like, it's basically a bit of something like this. I'll use this copper washer instead, and it just locks the gears so you don't have to start fighting with the engine when you're trying to take these nuts off. So you just put it in between the teeth, and it stops the engine from rotating. It gives you a bit of resistance when you're pulling all the stuff apart. Okay, so this is with the timing side off now. I've undone taken all the bolts off. I've loosened everything I need to do. So this is the advanced retard mechanism on the magneto. You can see how it works there with those wheels, little balls in there that fly out and adjust the position of this gear relative to the shaft in the middle. You can see there's a spring there. So that's the advanced retard mechanism. It's on a taper. Now on this magneto there is a keyway, but there is no key needed on this, because when you set the gears up, you set the gear up based on all of the timing mechanisms in here, and then you just make sure it sits tightly on the taper. So that's the BTH advanced retard mechanism. The pump itself, pump off, it says. Little gasket over there. I'm not very happy about that. There's a bit of unwanted object in there, bit of foreign object in it. But this is the oil pump. Lovely device. It's a very straightforward mechanism, and it's a lovely little thing because it's got two pistons in it. You can see the two pistons there. One piston's bigger than the other. This piston is the scavenge piston, and what it does is as this, I'll show you on the other side there, as the cam wheel goes round, this aluminium block at the top moves up and down and moves side to side at the same time, so it drives both pistons at the same time. You can see it feels lovely, that. The big piston is the scavenge pump, and what that does is it takes all the oil out of the bottom of the engine and sends it back to the oil tank. And this is the pressure pump, which then takes oil from the tank and pumps it around the engine. And the scavenge pump is bigger than the pressure pump to make sure you always have a dry sump. These things tend not to wear unless you have really poor oil condition. And this one sounds really good, so one way of testing it is to just listen to the way that it works, but also when you pull it, see if it will come back down again under vacuum. It says, which it does on that side. See, I pull it out, it comes back in. I block the ports off here. Let's see if it does that side as well. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that oil pump. The only thing it tends to wear is this little aluminium block, and that is the consumable part. And the idea there is that everything else will carry on working as normal. And this is a really good pump, but I might replace it with a higher flow pump, a more pull one, because I intend to run the engine on the track. So yeah, so that's a lovely pump, great condition. So I'm very pleased with that. Just need to check to see why there's a little, you can also see there's a little bit of dirt in there. So I'll need to get that cleaned out and make sure everything's okay before I reassemble it. There's an offset pin on here which drives the oil pump. Take that out, that just slides off. So to disassemble the engine, you just need to make sure all the bolts are out, obviously, he says. You can leave the cam wheels on if you want. A couple of things you need to remember. When you're splitting it apart, there's all these case bolts, which are the obvious ones. There's a couple on the inside. You can see, there we go. You see somebody's had a go at that before, it doesn't like coming out. There's one on this side as well. And there's also this bolt here. Make sure you take all of those out before you try and split the cases. So there we go, finally got the engine cases apart. I've got to get myself a tool to take these cam wheels off, so I can then take the rest of the parts off this case, timing side case, so I can get it all cleaned up. And you can see there's a bearing retainer that keeps that bearing in place. That's the big heavy roller bearing on the timing side, and it's a needle on the other side. And there's the crank, piston still in place. What I will do is I'll measure the stretch of these bolts to see if they need, see if I need to get in there. Also, we'll check the movement of the conrod on the journal to see if the journals are worn. It does feel pretty good. It doesn't seem to be any movement on it, but I will check it in a number of directions. So that direction, and this direction, to see if there is any wear that needs further investigation. But it all looks pretty good, and next thing to be will be to get everything stripped apart so I can get the cases cleaned and everything else checked, and we'll take it from there.